A very good morning to all of you. In our last class, we have discussed about president, the discretionary power of president. So today we will discuss about prime minister. Okay, what are the power of prime minister? How the prime minister is elected? And first of all, please see the picture: prime minister and the council of minister. Here you will find that prime minister is leading a bunch of people. Okay, so those bunch of people are the council of minister, and prime minister is the leader because he selects the council of minister. Okay, in our last class we have discussed that the president exercises his power only on the advice of council of minister. The council of minister is headed by the prime minister. So, prime minister is the head of the council of minister, and council of minister, on the advice of council of minister, president will act. Okay. So, being the head of the council of minister, the position of the prime minister became the most important functionary of the government in our country. Okay. Now, prime minister, in order to be a prime minister should have the support of the majority of Lok Sabha. Prime minister is also called the leader of the Lok Sabha. If the majority is powerful, if there is a support by the majority, then the position of the prime minister becomes very powerful. The moment this support of the majority is lost, the prime minister loses the office. So if there is no majority in the Lok Sabha, then prime minister will lose its office or its position. Okay, so in order to be a prime minister, he or she should have a majority in the Lok Sabha. He or she should be the leader of the Lok Sabha. Okay, majority of the MLAs or MPs, majority of the MPs, they have to support the prime minister. So if there is no support, that means prime minister loses the office. But from many years now, we can say from 1989, there is no single party in the parliament or single party at the center. This is the reason there is a coalition party. Okay, coalition means a mixture of the party. So if there is a mixture, if there is a coalition, then it's very difficult to get one prime minister. Okay, initially there was only one party, that is Congress party, after independence for many years. So the leader of the Congress party became the prime minister. But from 1989 onwards, there have been many occasions when no party had a majority in the Lok Sabha. So various political parties have come together and formed a coalition that has majority in the house. In such a situation, a leader who is acceptable to most partner of the coalition becomes the prime minister. One person has to be acceptable by all the parties in order to be a prime minister. So, a leader who has the support of the majority is appointed by the president as the prime minister. Okay. So, if there is a coalition, then obviously the prime minister will be selected by the president. Otherwise, if only one single party is there and who got the majority in the Lok Sabha, then the leader of that single party becomes the prime minister of India. Now, the council of minister. The prime minister decides who will be the ministers in the council of minister. It's a group of a minister whom prime minister chooses. Okay, prime minister allocates ranks and portfolios to the minister depending upon the seniority and political importance. The minister are given the ranks of the cabinet minister, minister of state or deputy minister. Okay, so the council of minister is very, very important. Without the council of minister, prime minister will not have any power. So, and prime minister himself select or elect the council of minister and he will give the ranks also to the council of ministers. Similarly, in state level, the chief minister appoints the council of minister. Okay. If someone becomes a minister or prime minister without being an MP, such a person has to get elected to the parliament with 6 months. So in order to be the member of the council of minister, the person has to be an MP, member of parliament. He or she has to be the member of parliament. If in case he or she is not the member of the parliament, he has to get elected to the parliament within 6 months. The public has to elect him, okay, in order to be the member of the council of ministers. So the council of ministers will be appointed by the prime minister only. First there will be an appointment of prime minister. After that, prime minister himself appoint council of minister. He will give ranks also. Similar case is with state in also, okay. The chief minister appoints the council of minister. Now, the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. This provision means that ministry which loses confidence of the Lok Sabha is obliged to resign. So, it's a collective duty. They all have to, Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister, they have to work collectively. Okay, there should be a group. So, if there was if the Prime Minister, if the council of ministers did not work collectively, and if they loses the confidence of the Lok Sabha, the member of the Lok Sabha, then they have to resign. The council of ministers, the member of the council of ministers, they have to resign. Okay, collective responsibility is based on the principle of solidarity of the cabinet. It implies that the vote of no confidence, even against a single minister, leads to the resignation of the entire council of ministers. So now, if there are 14 council of ministers, then if one member of the council of ministers, if he get no confidence vote from the member of the Lok Sabha, then the entire council of ministers will be dissolved. Okay, they have to give the resignation, the entire council of ministers, if only one minister did not get the support from the Lok Sabha. So it's a work of collectivity. Okay, everyone has to work as a single unit. If one person makes a mistake, the entire group of ministers have to give their resignation. Okay, if the council of ministers give the resignation, if there was no council of ministers, then obviously there is no position for the prime minister also. Okay, prime minister also loses its position, its office. So it also indicates that if a minister does not agree with policy or decision of the cabinet, he or she must either accept the decision or resign. So if in case there was a certain decision that has been taken by the council of ministers and the prime minister, and if one or two person did not agree on that, at that time he had only two options, either to resign or to accept that policy. If he resigned, then the entire council of ministers have to resign. Okay, so this is a work of group work, you know. Okay, the council of ministers cannot exist without the prime minister, because in order to have a member of the council of ministers, prime minister has to select them. If there is no council of ministers, there will be no prime minister. If there is no prime minister, then there will be no council of ministers. So the council come into existence only after the prime minister has taken the oath. After prime minister takes his oath, then only they select, prime minister select the council of ministers. Okay. The death or the resignation of the prime minister automatically brings about the dissolution of the council of ministers, but the demise, dismissal or resignation of the minister only create a ministerial vacancy. So the death or the resignation of the prime minister, if the prime minister resign from his post, or if there is a death of the prime minister, at that time the council of ministers automatically dissolve. There will be no council of ministers. Or in some cases, if there is a dismissal or the resignation of the minister, that only create ministerial, there will be a vacancy for the minister. Okay. The Prime Minister act as a link between the Council of Ministers on the one hand and the President as well as the Parliament on the other hand. So the Prime Minister have to deal with the Council of Ministers as well as the President, because Prime Minister has to give every information to the President. Now, the Council of Ministers relating to administration of the affair of the Union and proposal for legislation. The Prime Minister is involved in all crucial decisions of the government and decides on the policy of the government. Every policy, whatever policies are making in our constitution or in the government, Prime Minister has to be a participant in that policy making. Without Prime Minister, no one can decide on policy making. Okay. Now, initially when there was only one political party like we have after independence, only the Congress government was there. Okay, so the leader of the Congress party became the Prime Minister. But after 1989, we have many coalition government, okay, many coalition parties in order to form a government. At that time, one person who has been accepted by all the members of the party, he or she became the Prime Minister of India. But this government, sometimes this government could not remain in power for a full term of the Lok Sabha. Sometimes they either removed or they resigned due to the loss of support of the majority. These developments have affected the working of the parliamentary executive. If there was only one party, a single party, and the Prime Minister is from that party, then that wouldn't be a problem. Okay, but with the coalition government, we have so many experiences, or we have so many examples of the Prime Minister. When there was a coalition party, the Prime Minister sometimes resigned, or sometimes they did not get a majority from the Lok Sabha. Okay, if there was a coalition party. So there are certain functions or the development that have resulted in the discretionary role of the President in the selection of the Prime Minister. Because if something like that happen, if the Prime Minister's position is vacant, at that time President has the power. We have already discussed this, right? President will elect the Prime Minister. So sometimes President has to select the Prime Minister, number one. Second is coalition nature of the Indian politics in this period has necessitated much more consultation between political partners, leading to erosion of prime ministerial authority. Now, if there is a coalition, then obviously there are so many parties involved, and the Prime Minister has to consult with other parties also, because they have given their majority to the Prime Minister. So in this case, decision making is little bit problematic. Okay, everyone has to be informed, because Prime Minister cannot lose the majority. If he loses his majority, then obviously he will be removed from the Prime Minister's position. So in order to retain his position in the center or as a Prime Minister, certain information or certain decisions has to be dealt with other political parties also. Thirdly, it also brought restriction on the various prerogatives of the Prime Minister, like choosing the minister and deciding their ranks and portfolio. So after being the Prime Minister, he has to choose his Council of Ministers. So if there are so many parties, then obviously there will be certain restriction. Prime Minister has to choose from all the parties, right? There was no single party. He has to, a Council of Ministers has to be from all the parties, because it's all about the majority of the Lok Sabha. So these are the problems if we have a coalition government. Fourthly, even the policies and programs of the government cannot be decided by the Prime Minister alone. Political parties of different ideologies came together, both as pre-poll and post-poll allies, to form a government. Policies are framed after a lot of negotiation and compromises among the allies. In this entire process, the Prime Minister has to act more as a negotiator than as leader of the government. So the fourth problem is that if some policies or the programs, Prime Minister is deciding on some policies and program, so he has to inform all the political parties, all the members, MPs of the political parties, and in some cases the MPs, they might not like the policies. So in that case, Prime Minister has to negotiate with all of them. So being the leader, he has to act as a negotiator to convince all the political parties, because like again it's the question of majority of the Lok Sabha. So Prime Minister has to be very careful about deciding anything on policies and the government. So if we have a coalition government, if there is a single party only, like after independence Congress was there, okay, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, they are all the Congress leaders. Okay, so there was no such questions about negotiations and to have a majority in the Lok Sabha, because obviously the leaders, the only one party is there, then they will have a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. But the coalition government, everything has to be keep in mind. So sometimes the Prime Minister has to act as a negotiator rather than the leader of the government. Okay, in the state level also similar parliamentary executive exists, though with some variant. The most important variation is that there is a governor of the state appointed by the president on the advice of the Council of Ministers or the central government. Okay, the governor in state level, governor will be appointed by the president, and the chief minister, like the prime minister, is the leader of the majority party in the assembly, and the governor has more discretionary power. However, the main principle of the parliamentary system operates at the state level too. So the function of, more or less, the function of the prime minister and chief minister are same, and the president and the governor are also same, but the governor has been appointed by the president on the advice of the Council of Ministers. So this is the prime minister. Prime minister's position is little bit complicated during the coalition government. If there is a single party, then there is no such problem, but you have to keep in mind that the prime minister should have the majority in the Lok Sabha. If he loses the majority, prime minister loses its office. If one council of minister has to resign, then the entire group will be dismissed. Okay, so after being the prime minister, he will choose the council of minister, and he has to act as a leader of the council of minister. Every decision will be taken by the council of minister as well as the prime minister. So in one hand, prime minister have to handle council of minister, and the other hand, prime minister has to handle president, because president has the right to information. Prime minister has to inform everything to the president. In our next class, these are the political executives, right? Prime minister, chief minister, governor, president, all of them are political executive. In our next class, we will discuss about permanent executive or bureaucracy. Okay.